Hello. Welcome to EasyVB, Tips and Tricks 4. In this video we will show you how to reposition and resize controls in a running application. As a basis for this project we will start with our simple dog and cat application from Tips and Tricks 1. Our aim will be to be able to reposition or resize the picture box control and the two buttons, Show My Dog, and Show My Cat, while the application is actively running, just like we can view now. During application design it is easy to drag controls and stretch or shrink their size, as it is a functional feature of the Visual Studio IDE. However, when the application is running there is no built-in facility that allows for control positions and sizes to be changed. For some applications such facility would prove very useful. So, by demonstration now, we are going to achieve this facility in our dog and cat application by adding just a few more controls and a very few lines of code. First add a panel of arbitrary size. Change its name to Pan1. Set its back color to color blue. Set its visible property to false. Set its cursor to type, size all. Add a button and place it on Pan1. Change the button name to BTNTL, where T and L denote top and left. Clear all text from the button. Set its back color to color white. Set its flat style to flat. Set its border color to black. Change its size to 8 × 8 pixels square. Drag it to locate in Pan1 top left corner. Set its anchor to top and left, matching its position. Set its cursor to type, size and WSE. Copy the button BTNTL 3 times and similarly rename, reposition, and set anchor for the buttons at top right, bottom left, and bottom right. Set the appropriate cursors also as size NESW, size NESW, and size and WSE. Run the application. We can observe that nothing is different as we set Pan1 visible property to false, so we cannot see it. But Pan1 is there in our application waiting for us to code some use for it. Close the application. OK. Now select the picture box and the buttons, Show My Dog, and Show My Cat. Then go to the Event menu and create a mouse enter event, for these three controls. Within the mouse center event handler, write the following code. pan1.visible equals true. pan1.parent equals sender. pan1location equals new point 00. pan1.size equals sender.client size. pan1.bring to front. Run the application. Move the mouse to enter the picture box and buttons. We can see that the blue panel, pan1, locates over the controls and resizes to match their size. Also, because we set the anchor of the 4 white buttons of pan1, they remain located at the corners of pan1 when pan1 changes in size. Okay, that's looking good, but pan1 is a solid blue color. In fact, we would like to be able to see the picture box or buttons underneath. This can be done quite easily. Create a form1load event, and in it write a single line of code. Write pan1.backColor equals color.from argb25, color.blue. What this line of code does, is set the opacity of pan1 to 25%, meaning its transparency is 75%, and we should be able to see through it quite well. Let's see how that looks by running the application again. Okay, that looks just fine. Now we want to add some code that will allow us to move the controls, by dragging them around. The basis for this useful drag code can be found in EasyVB Tutorials series, Tutorial 1. Do go to Tutorial 1 and watch it for a full explanation if you need to. First we will declare an object variable. Dim, subcon, as object, subcon, denotes, subject control. Now click on pan1, go to the event menu and create a mouse move event. Within the mouse move event handler, write the following code. Static, mouse pose, X, as single, mouse pose, Y, as single. If E.button equals 0, then, mouse pose, X, equals E.x, and mouse pose, Y, equals E.y. Else, subcon.left, equals, subcon.left, plus, E.x, minus, mouse pose X. Subcon.top, equals, subcon.top, plus, E.y, minus, mouse pose Y. And if. Also, within the mouse center event handler, write a new line. Subcon, equals sender. OK. Run the application, and now try dragging the picture box or buttons around with the mouse. Does it work? Yes, we can see that it does. We can drag controls around in a running application. What this code is doing is, first, when the mouse enters a control, the object variable subcon is passed the control as a value. Then, pan1 is set as a child of the control entered, and also has its size and position changed, to match that of the control which is now its parent. Then, when the mouse is moved over pan1, the position of the parent control, by reference to the value subcon, is dragged when the mouse button is held. Because pan1 is a child of the dragged control, it also moves with the control. As you have probably guessed, next we will use the small buttons at each corner of pan1, to be able to change the size of the controls, as well as drag them around. Add btntl to the mouse move event, and change the name of the mouse move event to pan1 and buttons. Add the following code into the mouse move event handler. Else, if sender is btntl, then subcon.left equals subcon.left plus E.x minus mouse pose X. Subcon.top equals subcon.top plus E.y minus mouse pose Y. Subcon.width equals subcon.width minus E.x minus mouse pose X. Subcon.height equals subcon.height minus E.y minus mouse pose Y. pan1.size equals subcon.client-size. Run the application again, and now try dragging the top left white button of pan1. It can be observed that the parent control of pan1 changes in size. We can also still drag the control around. So it's looking good now, and we can add 3 more similar, but slightly different, else if, sections of code for the other 3 corner buttons of pan1. We won't cover this in detail now, but here for reference, are all the else if statements, of the mouse move event handler. Let's run it again. Now we can see we are nearly there. We have a running application and we can reposition its controls and also resize them to have them any way we want. But what is wrong? Well, because we place pan1 over the control. As a child of the control, it effectively blocks the functional event of the control, such as a click event. So we need some method to activate and deactivate the control's resizing and repositioning facility, so that we can still use the application for its intended function. To do this, add a checkbox control to the form. Change its name to CB1. Change its back color to color gray. Change its text to Control Resize and Reposition. Change its text font size to 12, and set bold to true. Double-click on the checkbox control, and this will create a check-changed event handler. Within the event handler write the following code. If cb1.checked equals true, then cb1.backcolor equals color.lime. Else if cb1.checked equals false, then pan1.visible equals false. cb1.backcolor equals color.gray. End if. Now go to the mouse center event handler, and enclose the code there with an if-then statement. If cb1.checked equals true, then end if. Run the application. We can observe that, when the checkbox is unchecked, the application functions as normal, and we can click the buttons to show the dog and cat. When we check the checkbox, its back color changes to lime, signifying the resize and reposition facility is now active. When we go to the picture box or buttons, we can drag them to new positions and change their sizes, but we cannot operate the application at this time. To operate the application again, simply uncheck the checkbox. This locks the controls with their new positions and sizes, and allows the application to be operated as normal, once more. Okay, now we have a good simple and functional method to reposition and resize controls in a running application. You can adapt this method to suit your own application's needs and specific functions. One final detail to provide. For simplicity, in our tips and tricks video, we only used 4 resize buttons, one at each corner of pan1, but the principle can be applied just the same for additional buttons, placed at midpoint of the control edges, to stretch or shrink the controls, in just the horizontal or vertical directions. Just like we see demonstrated now. To keep this video short, we will not present with detailed explanation for the mid-edge buttons, but here for reference and completeness is the necessary code to do that. It should be straightforward to understand. Thanks for watching. We hope this tip and trick was useful. If it helped you, please like, share, and subscribe.